Haven, Shadow, Rune are kind of, and that's kind of interesting, right? I think compared to Tempest of the Gods, I feel like a lot of players in Tempest of the Gods kind of were really set on kind of just playing between the two crafts, kind of Dragoncraft or Shadowcraft, and maybe the occasional sword. You know, right. I don't think Haven was really adopted in the West at all, but it feels like there's like between 4 crafts, that's actually pretty decent, right? A decent variety. Dragon, Shadow, Rune, Haven. I think that's not bad.
It is a lot of variety, actually.
And there's...
That just happens towards the 3-deck 1 ban format.
Yeah. And we actually see different kind of brands of, for example, Runecraft, we've seen Dirt Rune as well as a more traditional D-Shift as well, so that's kind of cool as well. So, as we move into the losers bracket, I think as these games were playing, we had the players named Praetorian and Akamarud playing out in the losers bracket. So the winner of that will go on to face Mensou, and then Mana Surge Rizio versus Ray, and the winner of that will go on to face Catch. So it looks like Praetorian was the winner, and now we are in the losers quarters, and this means that whoever is defeated here is knocked out of the tournament. Now, they already have made it far enough that they're going to get vials. But if you lose here, you're going to be pretty sad, because I think you lose your invite spot. I would need to kind of count the placings again. But I think players at this stage would need to win this round to guarantee themselves at least an invite into the round-robin stage. So this is a pretty important match here.
And
Alright, so we have...
For some reason, Blood got through.
Oh boy, yeah, we were talking about that too.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a classic on-curve, on-play Blood here. Ooh, Zombie Party strong, though.
Yeah, get rid of those toes, man. Don't want them living.
Hey, I had a question. Okay. And I never looked too hard at Tove because it was behind blurry vision because I was crying. But is Tove a fox or an anteater? What is Tove?
I think it's an anteater.
It's an anteater? Whoever knew that anteaters could be so dangerous.
Very weird.
Anteaters are 3/3s.
So much.
Anteaters are 3/3s.
That Alice is brutal, letting his goblin trade for the Grimner and live. Ugh.
Yeah.
Alright. He's got them skull beasts. Orthrus! I have not seen that card since there was a Banhammer that, or not a Banhammer, the Nerf Hammer struck in Tempest of the Gods on Shadowcraft. It really seemed to fall out of favor real quick.
Yeah, people were replacing Orthrus with Prince Catacomb because Prince Catacomb's cost went up to 4. Because originally it was 3.
Let's play again.
Where's the prince now?
That's interesting that he chose not to gain the shadows there. I guess he just feels like he needs the board. This Lyriel is a huge punish, though.
Yeah, it is. So he can shoot the Orthrus, trade into that, live, hit face for 3.
He can actually hit face for 4.
5.
That's
he plays that Blood Wolf.
Oh yeah, now he can go from. He can Waterman the Goblin Mage, Blood Wolf. And then Lyriel kills both of their minions just by evolving. So.
Oh my god. Bloodcraft is pretty good.
Bloodcraft's pretty good, yeah.
I've heard that.
It's a pretty good faction.
Pretty good. Alright, trades the Skull Beast out. Gets 4.
That was a 1-mana 2/2 that buffed the Goblin Mage for 1 attack when it entered the battlefield.
That's
pretty nuts.
A Wise Merman.
It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Wise Merman OP.
He could have a lot of damage as well. The Phantom Cat could come in and potentially do 4 to face, plus everything on the board that may potentially swing here. And there just doesn't seem... There's not enough turns to have that Goblin Princess trade in and then play the ward from the Goblin King as well. So I think this is a pretty rough situation here for Praetorian. Ugh.
Yeah, this situation.
And these decks are usually built to have Phantom Cat do that. They're usually built to have Phantom Cat draw the 2 neutrals.
So it's very likely that it's going to happen. Here we go. Oh!
And there it is. Oh, wait, no, it's
Wow,
only one.
he only got
Phantom
2, but he
Cat's
got another Phantom Cat.
Yeah.
This is what I call the Daria effect. Your Daria draws a Daria.
They cantrip each other. Sounds fun.
Yep.
Well, he's on 6, so he's a little far away here, but he does have an Erd. He can Erd that.
Nice.
And it hits the better one for him, too. Gets to evolve and keep a 5/1 now.
No one escapes the wheel of destiny.
He's in a lot of trouble though. There's a lot of reach in Blood's hand right now.
Yep. Tons of gas.
You can just play this Phantom Cat and Goblin, and then if it does 4.
Yeah, that would really put him in a good spot.
Take this.
Oh my god! Oh, you got 0. But he pulled another Phantom Cat.
Yeah, it's true.
He low rolled.
Every Phantom Cat drew a Phantom Cat.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, the damage was definitely way more valuable in that scenario than the next Phantom Cat, because he already has in hand the ability to close out the game, especially if no wards are kind of propagated.
That also actually slows the turn by 1, which is super important. Never mind. Had he chosen to play Goblin Princess, I would have given him access to a ward.
Yes.
But he played Eater instead.
Which, can't blame him, you know? Eater's pretty cool guy.
This also sets up lethal next turn if nothing happens, so...
Yeah. Kind of dissuades you necessarily from setting up a 2-turn lethal just because you'll die if you just try to go face.
Well, all the momentum is kind of shifted to Shadow here.
Yeah. There's no wards on the field or able to be played. Tova's going to gain Rush, so you're going to be able to destroy one of the zombies. You have no Evolve Orbs, and nothing... Yeah. So what, you're taking 6 damage here, or rather 8 damage.
Right, yeah. Second Eater is actually lethal, I think.
Oh, okay. Not super useful here. So I think the idea is that you want to try to clear.
Definitely.
So, let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you guys a question here. Do you think that Mensou would have been in a better position if he, instead of playing the Phantom Cat, had went a little bit more aggressive on that turn?
Yes, with like dropping the Blood Wolf and then trying to just push face damage or something like that.
You're right.
You know, he might have killed himself if he did that, actually. I feel like he might have just lost this turn if he had done that, because the Blood Wolf maybe would have put him to 10 and then swing for the game win, so... Oh my god, so actually
all the zombies would have had to trade into the wolves anyway, so...
So he needs to be very careful.
Shadow can't leave the Blood Wolves up.
He could actually die based on what the Phantom Cat draws, right? Because 2, 4, 5 damage does a Phantom Cat. If it does 4, then a Razor Claw or a Blood Wolf will win it, right? Please kill at least one more thing with your Ektar. Thank God. he still could die, right? 3, 4, 7, 3. Yeah, he could still die. If Phantom Cat does... Wait, did I...
Wait.
Oh yeah, he's still dead.
Yeah.
Yep, double Blood Wolf.
Yeah, he's still dead.
Yep, double Blood Wolf is 4 anyways.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh my god. Yeah, there was no way out of it. There was no way out of it. That's aggro blood for you, right there. And the reach is pretty incredible. I think a lot of that comes down to not... I think Envy Bear hit the nail on the head, honestly. You had that turn where you could play the Princess and start setting up for the Goblin King. I think it was actually important to take that moment of opportunity at that time. The Ektar was certainly helpful in getting board control, but I think classically, Shadowcraft, and I think we've seen it a few times today now, tends to run things that are more aggressive because you're used to being the one doing the face damage, and so ward is actually hard to come by, and ward is super valuable against blood in this scenario. So Wow, so Mensou is going to be able to take that win, and now Mensou is going to be playing Shadowcraft as the alternate deck, and I believe it was Havencraft that was banned out then by Praetorian, right? Because I believe Haven Shadow was what Mensou played on in the winner's side. So let's see. I mean, he's sticking. Praetorian is sticking here with Shadowcraft, so it's going to be a mirror match, and I did get to see who goes first and second, but we've seen this matchup quite a lot. Now it might be in a slightly different form, but what do you think is a key thing in this mirror match, Senpai, kind of moving forward here for Praetorian?
Well, I think in this, he wants to get as much damage early as possible. You know, he doesn't really want to, give his opponent room to breathe. So he's just gonna have to go in as much as he can, like right now, especially since his opponent missed his 1-drop and then he just drew it just now. So obviously he's not playing it. So just get as damage and as much pressure as he can. Try to take those chances to draw some cards just so that his opponent can't catch up to him.
We'll see if he's going to be able to abide by that statement here. Opts to play the Bone Chimera.
Bone Chimera is a good card against Sticky.
As well, so.
All right. A few options here.
So, well, unfortunately, none of his options are removal based. So he's certainly going to have to trade. The way he trades will, I guess, inform the way he's going to play out the rest of this turn. If he value trades, he'll take 1 damage off the board and still have his Lyrial on board. If he takes the 2 damage off board, he won't have the Lyrial anymore. So this is a real pivotal turn for him. What he decides to do.
It's difficult for sure. I think maybe trading the 2/2 into 2/2 and then developing your 3-mana 1/1 that turns into a Lich. I think you're good at Tentative Knight. You can Demon Eater that, or you can also Necromancer on that. So
yeah,
there we go.
And that's the line he goes with.
Man, Envy is like what, 3 for 3 now?
3 for 3 today.
You're just in the know.
Food should act like food.
Massive Demon Eater there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and such a really widely used in Shadowcraft now in this expansion. The Demon Eater.
Oh yeah. Drawing cards happens to be good in card games.
Yeah, and especially for Shadowcraft as well, right? There's so many cards that you can pick up, like drawing an Ector could change the game entirely.
Yep.
So card draw is incredibly valuable. Necro Assassin doesn't have has a whole bunch of kind of average choices.
Let's make the world quiet.
Well,
He does
at
know
the very
servers
least
is
you can
probably
say.
coming down there on 5, so.
Well, the least you could say that he took 1 damage off the board with the Necro Assassin. He took 2 off actually, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you threaten a large amount of damage on this turn. So.
Yeah. The Soul Squasher is really good here.
Yeah.
High value Soul Squasher right here.
I think that's exactly how you would prefer to spend your shadows in this kind of scenario here for Praetorian.
Yeah.
Saving them for any kind of... It's not as worth it saving it for any kind of Death's Breath or Ector, really, because you already have so much pressure right now. That's exactly how you would want your shadows to spend.
He can generate those shadows pretty much, you know, at will. Because he has so many things on board, and plus he has a Skull Beast would have given him an additional shadow when it dies. So, like, playing that Soul Squasher, and then he even got it in return, was very good.
Yeah, both players actually have tools in their hands to refill quite nicely, both having Bone Chimeras. Mensou does have a few more in the Demon Eaters and Soul Conversions, but he hasn't found a good turn to actually develop those into cards yet.
So, with 1 evolution orb left on both sides, I think it's very easy for Shadowcraft mirror matches to get into this point where your cards trade so back and forth and board control goes so back and forth that you start kind of slightly running out of options here. I think Praetorian has a little more gas. I don't really see anything that's kind of future for Mensou in his hand. And this is like the classic Mensou thing. I feel like we talked about that all the way through the winner's side. But he really doesn't seem like he has any cards that pack any punch in hand right now.
It's just the way he's drawing, man. It's gotta be the way he's drawing. I actually like this from Praetorian. He's gonna go face. He's gonna separate his stats up and go face.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes it incredibly difficult for him to deal with, for Mensou to deal with.
Yeah, especially when you know there's a 2 damage ping that you really can't handle unless you can heal. It's just you need to clear board.
2 right now.
Yep.
Now he does have a Lurching Corpse and a Soul Conversion and or Demon Eater. So, you know, he can do something.
What will that
He's not
something
completely
be?
dead.
He can clear the board, but being at just 2, another Cerberus would be lethal.
Yep.
Mensou does get to fill his hand up here a little bit, though. He can also play Demon Eater the same turn on any random 1/1. Another Lurching Corpse.
Alright, well, no ward on board, so... Oh. Okay.
Well, it's not lethal yet.
Yep.
In fact, Mimi... If he's scared of an Eater, Mimi actually might go to the 4/1.
Yeah.
He does have Zombie Party in hand, though.
The current situation...
He can Zombie Party to 4/1.
So what's interesting here is the current situation is there's no actual way for Mensou to suicide a card. So if he actually didn't kill anything, the potential... Oh my...
Oh, well...
Well, I was about to say, if you leave 5 followers on board and leave them no way to suicide, the Ector can't come in and buff up 4 cards. It was 4 damage that he removed. I guess, yeah, it was definitely worth it damage-wise to keep the current followers he had on board. But going to be very willing to just trade out.
That plan also works too. You couldn't really play Eater to maximum value that turn. You didn't really have any shadows, and your board was full of a bunch of things that would just die in the trade. And there wasn't enough room for Thane, so...
Yes.
Well,
he has
an Ektar of his own.
Yeah.
Ektar of battles?
It's not exactly the best play this turn. He does all the zombies, though, except for 1.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like Ector is going to possibly be the response here. And really the goal for Mensou at this point is just do not take a lick of face damage and hope that Phantom Howler Cerberus does not pop up.
Right.
He's living on a dream, right? And then, of course, once he gets to play point 10, he's dead. We know that.
Yeah, but he has to win within the next few turns or he's dead to the Grimnir.
Yep.
Hey, why so angry?
Which makes this scenario very difficult. Ugh.
It was actually very good that he chose to clear the Attendant and
Not what you want to be drawing
because
there.
The Lich getting the buff from Eater would allow it to trade into Eater here, so...
Right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So that's just lethal. He doesn't have enough to clear.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Why didn't he play the 1-drop into the Ektar? I mean, I guess it still would have lethal, but... You know, he still would have been able to clear more. It just would have been better.
Yeah.
Because he still had 1 play point left over and he had a 1-drop in play. So,
that's
in his
true.
hand, sorry.
That's true. So, Praetorian will be able to take the win back. So it's 1-1 now. And so Mensou is facing elimination, being put down to the loser's bracket by Sheepy, and Praetorian actually fighting through from being pushed down earlier. Would be interesting is I wonder who put Praetorian there in the first place. I wonder if this is a rematch of any sort. But I think that after we should see what Praetorian's alternate deck is and kind of figure out, okay, so he's going to bring Sword. This is what Ayasenpai was talking about. What do you think in particular about Sword is going to make it kind of effective in the tournament meta right now?
Well, since as Envy pointed out that people would be playing Haven, Sword happens to be very, very good against Haven. However, right now it's not very good against Shadow. So this is probably going to be pretty hard for Praetorian to win through. I'd be rather impressed if he actually managed to win through this matchup, or if Mensou gets his legendary brick hands.
The legendary brick hands. Oh man.
Yeah, Sword has always kind of struggled against Shadow, and it's never really gotten any better. They did stop running Cowie though, which used to completely brick stop Sword, so maybe.
We'll see. He's got a bunch of his mid-range here. He's got Luminous Mage and double Alberts.
I am the Mad Cyclone.
And it's a not bad turn 4, turn 5 thing. I mean, going first and having Floral Fencer is not the ideal scenario, but you make do.
No.
Scrivener could just die for free, or could snipe the 1-1.
Come on, Lurching Corpse.
I'm pretty sure you always attack here, though. I think it's a net game, yeah. Damn.
Oh my god.
And dead
Kill the
Grimnir.
Grimnir.
It's because you said it, Envy, and now you're 4 for 4.
Yeah, okay, cursed.
And now you're 4 for
Willed
4.
it into existence.
Yep. That's weird. That's weird that you can do that.
I don't know, it's just the power I have.
I remember you also doing really well guessing which cards were going to come out of the packs when we were opening it in Season 1.
Yeah.
My god. This is why you like card games, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Ugh.
Exposed.
There's something disturbing about that.
I really like this play. Lyriel evolve, you know, we've seen this so many times. Lyriel just 2-for-1s, and then they have to trade into her, or like use a spell on her. Lyriel just getting a 3-for-1 trade usually. But yeah, I mean, just develops a play for the Necro Assassin next turn in that Lurching Corpse, and this is looking really good for Shadow.
Yeah, yeah. Lyriel as a card, we got to see it a lot in Tempest of the Gods, and always got a lot of value there, and I think nothing's changed, right? And especially with the neutral package getting stronger, it's all the more reason to bring Lyriel.
I don't see Lyriel going anywhere, man. That and Angel of the Word, I think they're going to see some play for quite some time.
Neutral package, I think Lyriel was probably already in like 90% of decks, and neutral package bumped it to 100. Like, I didn't think they would make Lyriel better.
Yeah.
They did. She's probably in everything now.
Like, it's kind of hard to justify not playing Lyriel in a deck.
Yeah. Well,
Prepare for battle.
you gotta work her to the bone, right? As she would say.
Trade Albert. Interesting.
That's exactly what Sword doesn't want to be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
When a Sword player starts trading, he's in a bad position. When he starts trading with Shadow, he's in a bad position.
You're right.
Starts trading with Alberts. Defensive
Albert,
Alberts.
right.
Defensive Albert is something you don't want to say.
Especially not if you're going first.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah. You really want to be able to be hitting face.
It does make the Necro Assassin play a lot weaker this turn, but I mean, he just has 5. He could Zombie Party into the Attendant of Night, or even opt to play the Fina here.
So this is
Yeah, just gonna play Fina, I think. Oh, I don't know.
gonna mess with me.
That skeleton will be given a Medal of Honor. Defeating a high-ranking commander like Albert. A hero to be remembered for the ages.
Indeed.
Want to play?
Oh,
He's
and this
gonna start-
skeleton.
That's a pretty aggressive
He's gonna
evolve.
start pushing it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
I guess it doesn't matter
Pretty
too much
aggressive.
that he didn't save the Squasher there for the Enter the Battlefield effect, since there's no way Sword, you know, gets rid of that 3/3 and then also puts enough bodies on the board the Necro Assassin on Lurching Corpse can't handle, so.
Yeah. In a really bad spot now, Praetorian went first, but is behind in board control. And I guess that's not
he's
too
way behind.
unfamiliar.
Hey, why so angry?
Sword vs. Shadow, I feel like classically ends up in this scenario.
Well, he put the max bodies on board this turn. This is still really bad, though.
Loyalty is ironclad.
Yeah, it's definitely bad.
Yeah, Zombie Party is online
next-
still, so.
Yep. And he drew another Necro Assassin. So
Oh,
he's pretty stacked up. He's ready.
Yeah. He's got removal.
Interesting that the Fina is there. I just noticed that. The Fortune Hunter.
Well, Fina
makes a Zeroman and Goblin Mage, which can search up Lurching Corpse or Soul Squasher, which doesn't sound bad, but doesn't sound that bad to me. I think he'd much rather it be a Cerberus, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're breathing.
So, here comes the Necro Assassin.
First.
Ooh.
Wow.
And it missed the,
Floor
fencer completely.
Yep.
If you just go around it, yeah.
Yep, so Attendant of the Night can't actually attack into any of the followers.
Nope.
He may actually be saving Zombie Party
Let's make the
for next
world
turn.
quiet.
Since he will be on 7, it will get that enhance effect.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's the greatest, though. This 1/1 does just kill Necro Assassin for free.
Yeah. I think there is the idea that if you keep soaring the board, Swordcraft is eventually going to get to a really uncomfortable spot. But I do think it's kind of tragic to have the Necro Assassin just be taken down by this knight.
It's so quiet.
Well,
You and I, Knight.
this
Even
he
though
can
for
actually trade that 1/1 into the Attendant, evolve the Luminous Mage, and trade into the 4/4.
Lich. Yeah.
Turn the power of hope to light.
Oh.
Or not do that at all.
Well, I mean, it's a free evolve. You might as well do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And if there's a punish draw, if I've ever seen one, Ether will
It's that one.
help quite significantly here.
I believe.
Getting rid of the 4/5 is still kind of awkward, though.
You could attend. No, the attendant can't actually attack it. So yeah.
No, can't attack minions.
I won't lose again.
Okay, so he leaves Luminous Mage.
Interesting.
This is
Interesting.
questionable.
It's not quite on Albert's turn. Albert can't evolve for free, which
Yep.
would be well, he can, but it's not
He
storm.
can.
It's not double hit.
Yep.
Which
would
be
have ended the
lethal
game.
if it was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if this board gets cleared, which I guess the Attendant would still be there, he could clear the 3 zombies this turn.
He needs
You can
to
also
clear.
play Maid Leader and more than likely pull a 3rd Albert here and evolve that one for free. Never mind, White Paladin.
Oh.
Okay.
She got one wrong!
I mean, if
That's
he's gonna
true.
play White Paladin. I'm
How
not
many
sure
times
I
have you
get
seen
that
a
right.
maid leader not draw a mage or an Albert?
Yeah, it is. It is because he is playing both Mage and Albert, and it pulls White Paladin instead. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Surprise! But he needs to clear the board,
Which actually
right?
is a commander. I think people forget that's commander.
It is a command.
The judgment falls. It all ends here.
The art is so cool for White Paladin. Oh no! One of the Shield Guardians didn't get the Google Maps address. He got lost.
I actually really love pushing the 4-face there because you put it's not
That-
quite 10, but 11's close enough usually. If anything lives, so
Yeah, but,
Yeah. There it is.
too bad nothing will live.
Yep.
Yeah, everything's dead.
Yep.
And actually, if he chooses to Albert face, he'll just die on the backswing. So.
Yeah, he just died. He loses the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Eater's a pretty good card sometimes.
He's 1 damage off. That is a great tragedy. Please clear the maid. There it is. Whew.
Apologies, sir.
Alright.
Yeah.
Well, Albert can come in and take down 2 zombies.
Yeah, he can't even kill Ektar.
Yeah.
It's like,
He could kill Ektar, yeah.
Yeah, he could swing
well, he
twice
could
on
only kill
Ektar.
Ektar and leave the zombies in play.
What if you played a mage into the Geno? Would that give you
Well-
any better of a situation? Not really. You still only take
Not
down
really,
2 cards.
because you still can't kill the Ektar.
Yep. Yep. Yup. So that means the Veteran Lancer is the only choice to mitigate damage here.
I think unfortunately, he's in a position where he's gonna have to use Albert to clear 2 zombies.
I think his safest play, maybe, is to Geno with the Enhance, evolve it, kill the Eekter, then play the Veteran Lancer, setting up 2 1/1s and a 2/2, which would have triggered into this board really nicely. But instead he's going to go for the Evolve Luminous Mage here.
Nothing kills the Ector.
This is a tough situation, man.
Well, I mean, he could. If he evolves one of the other 2 minions and throws both that and Geno into it, it does die, but that's not efficient at all.
Yep.
Turn the power of hope to light.
Wow, what a board situation Mensou built for himself.
Yeah.
Ector's pretty good. And he passes 7 damage on board.
And he drew an Attendant, which he can use with that Necro Assassin.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. He can actually just push this advantage even further and clear the board.
Yeah. This is exactly what I was talking about in the matchup between Sword and Shadow. It's just so hard for Sword to keep up with when you have cards like Attendant of Night. Just it's so hard to deal with.
Yeah. I feel like these are the situations where it's so hard because I feel like there are individual cards that exist for Swordcraft that can handle these situations, but it's hard to you can't really tutor them that well, you know, and even putting them in the deck doesn't guarantee that their Alwidas would have been real nice, for example.
Alwidas is actually really good here along with Veteran Lancer.
He did that out of order, high roll the kill, and still clear the board.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty good, Mensou. You're pretty good.
Nice
if
dice
only
roll,
he
bro.
knew that Mensou only had a Fina in hand. Going for Alwida's Veteran Lancer with no evolves, hitting face, putting him to 8 is actually
he needs to
your best play this turn.
And I think it's very likely that Albert can come in and win it if he doesn't draw something that will remove the wards.
Alternatively, he could choose to evolve Albert this turn
And take
clear
down
both the 3/3 and the 4/4. Eekter can't kill it on the backswing, and it gets then for even more damage next turn.
Oh my god, this is such a risky situation though.
Yeah, but he's playing to what he believes his out is.
Yep.
And
yeah,
I mean his tournament life is on the line here.
That's
No!
Eekter can't kill that. That's game.
Oh, that's
Albert's
game!
the double attack.
Senpai! You have the backwards predictions!
Hey, it just happened to work out, man. I'm impressed. I said I would be impressed if Sword won this match, and Sword won.
Oh my god,
Good
and
job,
he's got the
Sword.
Novice
I believe
Trooper
in
to
you.
do it. Which one is a fancier win, Novice Trooper or the Alwidas? Both of
Well,
them!
he just decided.
Why not both?
Alright, so
Well-
after this match, forever now I will assert that Sword is favored in the Sword Shadow matchup. That is what I learned.
Shadow completely.
Out of the one game that I saw, Sword came out on top. I don't know. I think that's what happens. That's a new meta in Wonderland Dreams, Aya. I think
Maybe.
that's... Yeah. Yep.